this.
And then,
Every time he takes.
no, I've just got a logo. So,
What's up, everybody? My name's Elaine Stott. I'm from season 39 of Survivor, and as always, my co-host, Professor Tim Wilson. And today we're talking everything Circle. We got Shabaz and Pippa from season 3 of the UK Circle. Thanks, guys, for coming. I know Tim is a little finger happy. He took my logo away. I don't know what happened to it. He's in control. He's like Oz behind the curtain. He takes care of all that stuff. I don't know.
Have I lost our logo?
Yeah, you took it away. Like you do that.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't dare to put it back on. Otherwise, I'm going to have even more trouble.
Don't worry about it. Listen,
Pippa,
go ahead, Tim.
Hello.
It's wonderful to see you, Pippa. We have so much to talk about because we have to talk about season 2 of the USA.
Yeah, season 2.
But there are people in season 2 who are imitating you.
Yeah.
We'll get there. So we need your advice. We need your advice. So much. So we've got an hour to grill Pippa for the best advice on playing Father Tom with somebody else. We ought to have got Joey in here as well. I'm sorry, we'll try and sort that one out later. But anyway, and Shabaz, how wonderful to see you.
Oh, no, thank you for having me.
Now, where are you? Because you look, it looks so exotic.
To be fair, I decided to do my bedroom up, but this is the only bit I've done so far. So if you looked at this side of the bedroom, it's all
a disaster.
It's
a disaster.
So you've decided to do your bedroom up in homage to Aladdin, Arabian Nights.
Yeah, Alice in Wonderland, whatever you want to do.
It's so wonderful.
No, it's called Set in the Mood, Tim. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood. I love it.
Oh, we just went down south. Oh, we took a turn. All right, so listen, Pippa, have you seen the last episodes of The Circle?
So I've literally got it on right now. I'm halfway through episode 6.
Episode 6.
Oh my goodness! Okay. So we're going to have to. I'm afraid we're going to have to do some spoilers to get to the really important points.
I know a lot of people don't, but I love them so.
I love them as well. I can be spoiled today, and tomorrow I won't remember what I've been told. So I just assume the whole world is like that. So people who are watching, be prepared. We're going to deliver a spoiler. So we're going to refer to the end of. Whatever the last is it episode 8?
Yeah.
We're going to refer to the end of episode 8, and we're going to ask Pippa for her support and for her advice. Now, look, let's go back to episode season 3 UK, where Shabaz and Pippa, you've just popped out of season 3, and
episode 17. Episode 17,
yes,
the best.
No. I'm trying.
Best episode.
I'm trying not to suggest that by any chance, Shabaz, you left early. You came in late. You left early.
Yeah.
Could you possibly have won?
To be fair, there was a time when I did think so, because had the game played out in one direction. So, for example, had the game played out where me and Father Tom had caused a wedge and they split between the group, and whoever became secret influencer did block one of the original players, there was a high chance that if they'd all voted strategically, me or Tom could have got to that top. I actually could have won, because even if we'd gone the way we'd gone and Andy had blocked that night, Andy had blocked Manrique, which he said that, if he'd gone with his head, not his heart, he would have blocked Manrique. Had he blocked Manrique, I feel like they would have not seen me as a threat at all. They would have gone, Alice ain't gonna, let's put a number 1 because she's not gonna get a number 1 from anyone. And had they all done that, well, then I would have won. So
So Pippa. Oh, sorry. I was going to say.
I was just going to wait. Let me ask him a question before you move
on.
Shabazz, do you think it's like a huge disadvantage to be put in the game so late, or do you think it didn't hurt? You know what I mean? Like, do you think you would have done a lot better if you would have started from the very
100%.
beginning?
Yeah, I think my game plan would have been different. So having watching the US series and just watching them going through the motions of it, when I put myself in the situation, I'm like, right, how would I have done that? What would I have done in this game? And I've watched our series back, and there's so many things that I would have done differently or would have done. But going in so late, yes, there was a disadvantage in terms of there was no time for me to make friends. They didn't care about making friends.
So
where
you
people
just
went
stirred the pot. Is what
well,
you done.
yeah. It's like, well, do you know what? They're a family. They
Right.
don't want me in their family. So why don't I just cause issues with the family then?
Right.
So,
Hey,
why not?
I thought it was a great strategy to have with such a short amount of time.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
I would have probably done the same thing. So,
But Pippa, you and Joey actually thought you might have been the super influencer.
Yeah. What was
like,
we
well,
we obviously didn't have any clue that they were thinking these old players still in the game. We even watching it back, me and Joe were like, how did anyone ever even consider it? But because they had such the tight-knit family, being Uncle Saeed, Andy, Manrique, and Felix, even though Felix came a bit later, they were all very, very tight. Manrique trusted that none of the three boys would have said that comment that me and Joe said, which was about, we knew Manrique was a snake when she blocked Gemma or something, like the gameplay had something to do with Gemma. So from that moment, that's when they did like a process of elimination and thought, well, Alice or Tom is ex-player or ex-players. But we didn't know that they'd gone down that route, because obviously you don't know that they've had all the private chats. So we've convinced ourselves, if this plan works, and like what we've even spoke about with Shabazz, if the other players the OGs, we'll call them, hadn't have got that many conversations together as well, you know, Manrique might have thought it was Andy or it was Felix or it was Saeed, and then tactically rated, and we could have actually been in an influencer position. But they
I
were
put
all
you as
over
one.
it, weren't they?
Yeah.
I put you as number one that time.
Why do you think Andy and Manrique and the others targeted Alice rather than Tom?
Because Alice was a problem causer.
That's true.
Alice didn't sit back and go, oh no, it's not me. Alice went, hate Felix, hate you all.
That's true.
Throw it in and just run away.
But Shabazz, did you make friends with anybody?
Honestly, what they didn't show was me and Father Tom had a really great bond. Like, we had so many chats where there was one point where we had this chat where we were like, we're going to get to the final together. We are going to let them burn the whole place to the ground and get to the final together. Obviously praising God, because obviously he was a God-fearing man. So it was like, praising God, but, you know, we're going to burn the place to the ground. You know, and then me, Andy and Saeed had a really, really close bond. And it's really strange to see certain conversations not airing. Like, me and Andy and Saeed had this that's why when they came in speaking to me, I trusted them about the weasel thing, because we'd already spoken numerous times. Saeed was one of the first people to reach out to me. Andy came to apologize to me about something that happened in the game earlier. So I became really close to him in the 5 days I was there. Like, the 3 days we really spoke a lot. Me and Manrique had that sort of girl chat, and even on the last day when the whole fight thing had happened, she came to speak to me, obviously not knowing it was a trap, but she came to speak to me and genuinely asked me for advice. And I was giving this girl pure advice. I was like, don't worry about it. Things happen. You know, you're a family at the end of the day. Trust your gut. Not knowing that they're all playing me, but I genuinely did like these people. Yeah, I made friends. I like to think so.
Well,
outside of the game.
Well, that's the thing, is like the only thing I feel like, I've never played the circle, so I just talk out the side of my neck basically. But so if I played the circle, like, the only thing I would know to do is to go off my gut and go off those initial feelings that you have for somebody, because I really don't know what else you can base it on. You know, like it would have to be the conversations and how you feel in the moment when you're having them. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how else to do that. So I think you done great with the time.
I think the US series and the UK series, that's where I see the biggest divide, because the UK series, we want to actually be friends with these people. Like I wanted to be friends with these people, whereas I've seen conversations like Courtney was talking to Brian, and he was like, it's all good that you want to be friends, but that's a good strategy for me, isn't it? Like, there's no like, I actually like this person. Lee was one of the only ones when he first actually said, I will be friends with you outside the circle. But everyone else is like, yeah, okay, great. You might be my sister, but let me put that down on the strategy
And you know
board.
what? I love it. I love to watch it. And I've been watching these guys all day and I'm like, why wasn't I fierce?
It's
Why
like
can't I
watching
play
a train wreck. You can't look away. It's like, yo.
Well,
amazing.
It's because the Americans have all been brought up on Survivor.
That's true.
You know, Survivor is the ultimate strategy game. Elaine is the ultimate boss.
Amazing.
You know.
He's lying now. He's
Well, I haven't seen. I'm not allowed to see Elaine's series until I officially watch it.
Well, you're not missing much. I'm just a big goofball.
Apparently, it's very nasty, but I'm so looking forward to it. But you know, even the thing that strikes me about Survivor, and the thing we've talked about a few times, is even with that ultimate strategy game and the game about alliances, because people are dumped on this desert island, there's automatically a friendship which builds up even between people who are playing a strategy thing. When you're in the circle, you're in a very different environment because you don't see people, so you don't have that automatic friendship. In fact, in fact, enmity builds up almost immediately, and paranoia, because you can't see the other people. So I think you have to work twice as hard to build up the friendship, because if you don't have that underlying stability, you can't play the alliances and the strategies because you're all over the place.
I think I would be terrible at the circle because everything's done through text, and anybody that has read a text I've ever wrote them, every word is almost misspelled. It's like abbreviated. It's like real slang. Like people would probably misinterpret everything I said.
So people misinterpret like emojis. If you don't put the right emoji, if you put confused face emoji instead of happy emoji, people are like, "Oh, she's suspecting."
See, I don't even know what half of those mean, though. That's what I'm saying. I would be so screwed in the circle. Because people, I'd be thinking I'm being jokey, cheeky, as you guys call it. I'm being cheeky, and they'd be like, "Yo, this Elaine's a bitch." You know, like, I could just see it happening like that. So I give mad props to you guys because I really think the circle is actually not. I don't want to say more difficult than Survivor because we are starving on Survivor. But I do think it's super hard to come up with a game plan and have a strategy. Like Tim was saying, without ever seeing anything, just going off text. I think that's super hard. So my hat's off to both of you guys. It really is.
Like I always said, I know, like you just said, Elaine, you go off your gut feeling, and that's what I felt like I was doing. But as I've said before, I'll say again, my first impressions of Manrique, I thought she was really quiet. I thought she'd be really shy.
Oh, you was wrong about that one.
Me as well.
She was a firecracker.
When I heard it before I saw her as well, and I was like, oh my God, she's loud. She's like, she's loud. I really, that's what threw me the most about all the players. I really suspected Manrique to be quite quiet, and it just wasn't the case. So you can be wrong, can't you?
Right. That's true.
We've got a question from one of the viewers here. Mandy Richardson says, a question for Pippa. Are you and Manrique friends, and how was it in the circle? It's a very broad question.
All of us from series 3, UK. We're not US now. Everyone's fine. Yeah, everyone speaks. We're all in group chat. I've not been in it for like a week. I've been working a bit. Sorry, guys. I've not been checking in on you.
It's been quiet anyway.
It's been quiet. I speak to Manrique. So me and Manrique, like, she goes out, I go out, we drink, we'll party, she'll check in the next day, and I'll be like, were you drunk last night? She's like, yeah, I had a late night. We'll just like pass by like that. But yeah, and what was it like in the circle in general? Did they meet him?
I don't know. I can't get inside their mind.
Probably. We'll just go with that. Just go with that. Yeah. In general, how was it?
In general,
it was amazing. It was a really good experience. The main thing that that maybe surprised me the most is I prepared myself to be really bored because, you know, the production say be careful. Well, there's going to be a lot of downtime. Bring things to keep you busy, puzzles. But because I went in late, I felt like I was mentally playing catch up. So I was constantly trying to suss people out and what relationships, who's formed what bonds. So I was constantly in my notebook. And, you know, you've got like a game, a block-in, a private chat, a group chat. You know, you go to the gym, you go to the roof, and before you know it, your day is packed. So that's a big surprise for me.
I agree.
Definitely.
Well, I can tell you as somebody who came in at the beginning, you know, I had no downtime really. I was constantly thinking, and you were both clever because you were keeping notes. I didn't keep notes. I kept everything sort of up. I did drawings of everybody.
You did.
So I did a lot of stuff on paper. But you know, I was like an ancient Egyptian. I was just basically doing drawings. I wasn't using text.
I love it.
No.
I love it.
You just don't have. I don't think I did. Well, I didn't have any downtime. My head was spinning all the time. Like I had this whiteboard. I had post-it notes. I was strategizing every minute, every second of the day. I'd wake up in the middle of the night going, tomorrow I'm gonna have a chat with her. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Right, let's go back to sleep. Honestly, yeah, a lot.
It is psychological, isn't it? It does.
Yeah,
You dream it. I was dreaming it, waking up, living it, going back
afterwards as well. Afterwards for a week.
Yeah, the Circle have got some footage somewhere of me because I'm a dreadful sleep talker and sleepwalker. So the thing I was most worried about was getting up, sort of striding off in the middle of the night and walking down the corridor.
Oh, that would have been great.
I never dared to try my door, so I don't know whether they were locked or not locked. Someone asked me the other day, were you locked in? I don't know. I was so obedient. I didn't go near the window or the door.
No.
Did you try it?
Yeah, I did, and then.
Oh, Shabaz! How shocking!
Well, no, because what happened was, when I got blocked, when you get blocked, you are cut loose. They're like, if you're on Survivor, they're like, right, no food, nothing, you're blocked, right, go bye. It's not that bad, but you know what I mean? Like they literally are like, because everything goes back to the people that are in the game, and they need all energy there. So at one point, I was going, I've got a headache. Can I get paracetamol? And like there was nothing. So I was like, well, what do I do? Because my headache's getting worse. So what do I do? So I was like, I've got a headache. And then I sat. So I thought, let me go and try the door. Yeah. Yeah, literally. So I went to try the door. And as soon as I tried the door, that's it. All of a sudden, someone came in and went, all right, yeah, you've got a headache. Yeah,
God was back. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious. Tim, I think it would have been great to see you traiping down the hallway.
I didn't sleepwalk.
No, I'm saying I wish I could have seen that. That would have been hilarious if you did.
But what I did do was do a lot of sleep talking, and I apparently I had all the people that I blocked, which is most of the ex-players, spread out on my bed as if they were little goats.
Oh wow!
And I believe I was not only calling them Brooke. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Brooke.
Oh my goodness!
So at some point, I'm sure that sort of clip will emerge.
We need that footage. We need it.
Yeah.
If I'd been editing the show, I would have put that in, because what else is the point of the night vision?
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah, they never show any of this. Once you go Goodnight Circle, that's it. Like I would have loved to have seen like a live feed. You know, Big Brother used to do a live feed. I would love to see a live feed on what they're actually doing in the middle of the night.
Yeah, but there's not very much you can do on your own. Let's not go there.
Yeah.
Well,
really, this is not that kind of podcast.
Not that kind of podcast. No. But actually, on that subject. There's an expression. Maybe I misheard it, but I think it was in series episode 5. But what is a Texan hand job emoji?
Oh my god!
Have I got that wrong?
I don't even want to know, because it does. My mind is so in the gutter right now. I don't even.
Well, somebody who might have seen the episode might be able to say I got that wrong, but I scribbled it down. Maybe my mind. I hope I got it wrong.
No. But leave it.
Right, okay.
No, he's got it wrong. Trust me.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
It wasn't the worst thing that came out of these last 4 episodes. The worst one was a line from Chloe. And I didn't really know who Chloe was. So all this has been a big.
I think she's great.
She's great, isn't it? All this has been a big revelation for me, and I've now looked her up. But she's quite big.
Yeah.
Did you not watch Too Hot to Handle, Tim? I would have thought that would right up your street.
I can just about manage PewDiePie. And somebody wrote to me the other day and said, "Oh, why have you subscribed to somebody?" And I think I have no idea who that is. But Chloe, she comes out with this line: "I will put anything in my mouth."
Yeah, and I immediately my mind went in the gutter. I was
thinking, is that a bit rude?
I think.
No, I think it's a little.
I think it's a bit of both, isn't it? It's like
Yeah,
I'll say it and then people will misinterpret it, and it's kind of funny. So yeah, a bit
right.
both.
But also, to her defense, I think that, maybe like me, she's not the brightest crayon in the box. So she really was like, yo, I'm talking about food. I got an apple or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So I love her, though. I think she's great. I love her personality and her expressions and
Yeah.
I love your guys' accents. So every time she's like, what the, you know what I mean? Like it just cracks me up every time. So I'm really enjoying
It's crazy
it.
to see like some proper strong American accents, and then you've got like Essex, Chloe coming in. Yeah. It's like
I
I
enjoy
think they should have thrown a northern person in. With Pippa hearing all these, they should have thrown a
Singleton.
pure northern soul in there, going, I'm gonna go to kitchen, proper northern.
Yeah.
Don't you think she had a bit of a disadvantage with that? So having to deal with the American lingo, and
I think it's difficult for her going in because she's already on a show, so people recognize her. And obviously, like if you're a Netflix watcher, I recognize it instantly. I went, oh, she's on Too Hot to Handle, even if I'd just seen the adverts. So I think I felt like it was a bit of both, because some people would have gone, oh yeah, well, she's definitely real. No one's gonna fake being her coming into the circle.
Well,
and then
what about Lance?
She didn't even know what NSYNC was, though. She's like, what's that?
Yeah,
I know. What
NYSTYN.
Yeah.
I like the whole Lance Lisa story. I think it's charming, and I think she's done a really good job. But I didn't understand how she sort of, she notices the problem and then she goes down a different route. And I think, no, you've identified the problem. You can deal with this. The thing about Lance wearing this black jacket with zips all over the place, and she says, I don't remember him wearing that. And so we know she's picked up the why would you make a comment like that in the circle if you weren't trying to catch somebody out? Of course you'd be catching somebody out.
Yeah, she could have handled it a little different, but with episode 8 we see that her and Jax?
And Jack, yes.
Who plays Emily? They're now teaming up and doing what Pippa and Joey done.
Well,
I've heard that this has happened. Shabaz, you filled me in on that little.
Yeah.
So this is what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
You can ask yours first.
Pippa is the authority, really. So this ought to be the Pippa podcast, because we need your. No, Pippa, you were. I mean, forgive my comment. You were pretty useless as yourself. You were spectacular as Father Tom.
Well, I thought you were great as yourself.
I just thought there was, you again had the problem of coming in late, and I felt you didn't really push enough of your personality out. But Father Tom came out just like that.
Yeah. The reason behind that was, so like I said, when you come in at that stage, everyone has such strong bonds, and unless there is a kind of fight, you're not really going to get in. So that's why when you see me and Femi, Joey, with Manrique, it's because that's the only way you can kind of feel, because the alliances are already formed. So to get in that, it's if someone comes to you and says, oh my God, I'm pissed off, this is what happened, etc., etc. So when we both got blocked and went back in as Father Tom, we were like, the gloves are off now. You were nice, you got blocked. I was nice, I got blocked. We're taking the gloves up, we're coming out swinging. And that's when it was no messing. It was like, forget this. We'll use the knowledge we already know. We'll take advantage of it all, and we'll just throw a spanner in the works.
I wanted to know, when you played as yourself, I think if you're by yourself, it's actually a disadvantage compared to people that play with someone else.
100%,
And I feel it's because you have the ability to bounce things off the other person.
Yeah.
So for you, Pippa, whenever you got with Joey, I think you actually really flourished being able to bounce ideas off them and talk it over and say, oh, should I say this, or what do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
I think your game, it revved up a few notches after you got with him, and you guys done really well as Father Tom. I thought
we had so much fun with it as well. And I don't think the circle, the producers, were aware of this, but Joey actually went to church every Sunday as a child. Like
Yeah.
he can recite the
You
Bible
looked
off
out
his
there.
head.
You looked out there, didn't you? Because he was
As
like,
soon as he said that,
I wouldn't be able to play a priest, but you could play a priest. Like, you could play a priest. I believed he was a priest. Like, there was no shadow. I knew he was a game player. I knew that he was strategic. But in my head, I was like, praise the Lord, because this guy is a real priest. Like, there was no, I was.
Well, I think that might have been your downfall, is the fact that Joey and Pippa done so well playing Father Tom that they were able to
100%.
build those bonds a little bit better than you, and that's why you went home
100%.
first.
Yeah.
You see, the lovely thing about the circle is if you can get that contrast between the two characters, which you got so well with Father Tom.
It's like good versus evil.
Do you know what I thought they would have thought? I initially, when I went in, when I found out about Pippa and Joey being this, like I had a reveal room, they didn't put it out, but when I saw Pippa and Joey, I initially thought, how did they not suspect? Because how did you not suspect that Joey and Pippa left, Tom and Alice came back in, male, female left, male, female came back in. How did you not think? They literally thought, nah, one of them's Pippa, the other one's a newbie. One of them's, you know, I mean, they didn't think that Joey and Pippa have come back in, which I think was probably where production wanted to take it. But because we were so different characters, like I came in with fire and like, you know, Father Tom came in with God, it was like, they just didn't know, did they?
I think that like right now in episode 8, we just now got Emily and Lance. They're gonna team up, kind of like Pippa and Joey did. So if I was a person that was interested in going on the circle in the future, if you go back and watch old seasons, it's like some of this stuff is kind of, you know what I mean? Like they're like. So I think it would be a great idea for someone just to study the gameplay that has happened in the past. Because I think it would fare you well. Whereas like in my show, Survivor, they change it up so much, as even though a lot of it's the same, there's so much different stuff going on. It's hard to prepare, you know? But I was thinking, I was like, yo, when they sent Emily and Lance into the same room, I was like, whoever is in the circle, when new people come in, they should automatically be thinking like, yo, this could be old players. You know what I mean? But
Apparently though, they've done. I think Joey mentioned this. Joey said that they've actually told the circle. They told the circle people that them two went and saw someone. So they were all not trusting each other, thinking, well, someone's lying because two came to see. Whereas with us, they didn't show. I don't know if it happened. I never really asked, but did Pippa, did the rest of the cast get told that you two had gone and visited someone, or
no? Because
or
it was a double blocking. The message on everyone's screen was Pippa and Joey now get to meet each other.
But then you did clock. I would have clocked that straight away. If I was in there, I would have clocked that straight. I'm a big fan of the show. Before I went in, I watched both series, the American one, the Brazil one, and the French one. I would have been on it. So I just don't know why they.
Well, I think I would have been on it, having not prepared at all.
Well, you were on it, Tim, weren't you? Tim threw our whole group chat into mass hysteria when you revealed that you knew who the winner might be way earlier on.
Yeah, dude, he's like a genius, right? This guy is a genius.
It was madness.
It's process of elimination, and he's super smart when it comes to that.
Well, we hadn't even been revealed. Nothing. The cast hadn't even been revealed. This is December. We've come out of filming. We've all gone back to our normal lives. It's Christmas time. Tim comes out with this article. The article gets posted in group chat. We all lose our marbles. We're like, how did you predict?
Told him.
Someone told him. Like, one of you told him.
Right. He's so smart.
No,
but he just deduced him.
The point is, I have been educated. After I came out of the circle, I decided I wanted to learn about reality TV. So I've gone back to what I think is the beginning of reality TV and started watching Survivor from the beginning and podcasting. And yes, I sit watching this stuff, grumping about a lot of it and thinking, oh, that's not fair. Oh, I don't like that. But actually, I keep coming back and I keep watching more and more. And one of the things about the end of Series 3, the UK series, is I thought, I hate this. This is a diabolical show. but it was actually compulsive watching. It was very difficult to take your eye away from it, because it was like, I presume in the 19th century, this is what going to see an execution would have been like.
So you don't want to look at it, you don't want to watch it, but you
felt like that when you get blocked, it feels like an execution.
I remember watching Doctor Who behind the sofa, literally behind the sofa, when I was a small child. And I had friends who were in Doctor Who. I had a friend who was a Silurian.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, it sounds like something you'd buy in the chemist. But and so I knew it wasn't real, and yet at the same time I was hiding behind the sofa, and it was in black and white.
It's like Elaine said, though, it's car crash TV that you just. I mean, I watch a lot of American reality TV, and there are bits where you're like this. Oh, but you have to watch it. Like The Apprentice does that to me when they're about to do something so silly, and you're watching it, going, "Oh my god, I want the world to swallow me up, but I can't forward it. I can't look away. I need to carry on watching." So yeah, I get that one.
So after you've been on the show, because like where I was on season 39, my wife made me rewatch my season. I didn't want to. And there was so many moments when I saw myself doing something or saying something that I was like, "Oh, just shut up. Just shut up." Did you feel that way? Did y'all feel that way when you was watching yourselves back?
Yeah.
So
what was I thinking? Like,
so the three of you have had an experience I didn't have, because I was live. I was live, and there's a person here called Darren Reynolds who says, Pippa and Shabaz, would you have preferred for your series to have been live? Tim, do you think you would have liked your series to be pre-recorded? We could ask the same question of Elaine as well. Is there an advantage of being pre-recorded or an advantage to being live? Let's do Shabaz first.
Okay.
I think the advantage of being live is that, firstly, the online side of things is so much different. You come out to a complete different world, and you come out to, I guess, having watched something that's gone on. Also, in terms of storylines and in terms of the show being produced and whatever's happening, I guess it'd be different because they go by public reaction, they go by who they like and whatever's happening. But the good thing was we really got to interact with fans. So I went in really late, and there's a Facebook group called the Circle Group Chat, and there's about 14,000 people on there, and they'd all started going, "What's the point of this new guy?" But I'd gone in there straight away like, "Hi, I'm Shabaz, by the way. Yes, there is a point to me because watch what I do." So I really won round a lot of the fans, and which was nice to do. But I just don't think that would have happened with it being live, because with it being live, you just come out to this. I don't know. It'd be scary. So I appreciate.
Well, I think like with Manrique, where she was getting a lot of online hate and stuff. I think if it was live for her, I think it may have been better, because in the moment she wouldn't have seen it because she'd be in the show.
Yeah.
She would have caught the after of it. You know what I mean? And who knows what that would have been. But I think like for her, it may have been good for it to be live.
Yeah.
And I do want to reiterate that kind of what you guys were saying with the, think before you post stuff. Like, I think all that stuff is total bullshit. Like, don't come at people you don't even really know. It's a TV show. Don't get personal. But yeah, I think she would have fared a lot better mentally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think it was super hard on her with all that happened.
Pippa, what do you think?
I love the fact that I could interact with people as I was going along. I did love that, a bit like what you said, Shabaz. You can kind of, if something was to be portrayed in a way that wasn't genuine to yourself, or you felt like this isn't right, you could speak up about it. Like what Manrique did at one point. She said, look, if this keeps going in this avenue, I'm going to have to talk up, because there is so much editing, as we all know, well, especially when you've been in it and you watch it back, because, like, me on the screen, I was going to say my character then, me as Pippa, there was so many conversations you didn't see, so many games, so much more. But I guess there's only so much they can put on one night's episode. So that's why I was more quiet, I guess. And, because there was no controversy in that sense. I didn't argue with anyone, and, I didn't become influencer, etc. So that kind of shows you in a different way from what you remember. So it could have gone the other way. It could have shown me in a very negative light, or something, where maybe I would have felt like at least I can speak up on my platform and say 1 minute. Whereas if it's live, but then again, like you said, Elaine, if it's live, you come out and it's already been and gone. So
they're over it by then.
I guess it comes down to your personal experience. Like if you had like you were saying, you got to interact with fans and this, and this. Well, Manrique's personal experience may be a little different because she had a lot of heat coming her way. So it's probably personal preference on whether, like Tim,
what do you think, Tim?
Yeah, what do you think? You think it was
I'd never had Instagram before I went on the circle. And I wasn't trusted to actually opt to use my own Instagram until about May last year. So long after. So in a way, it sort of, in some of this passed me by. I knew stuff was being said, but it was all reported back to me. I did find sort of coming out, it was quite extraordinary walking down the street.
Yeah.
But you haven't had that experience because we're all in lockdown still. So
I've only been recognised once, and that was in Manchester City Centre, and it was so nice. I was like, oh my God, I'm just as excited as the people as well.
It is extraordinary being recognised, Pippa. It's I just think it's just such a wonderful thing to be able to do.
I get a kick out of it.
It's just so nice. You think I can make somebody's day. I can.
Yeah. I'm just really awkward. So I feel like because I teach in school and I've been doing YouTube and TikTok for years, so people recognise me more so off there. Because obviously they must have blinked and not seen me on the circle. So for the rest of the world, I mean, I've been doing like TikTok and YouTube for a while, so I almost feel like when people come up to me and say, "Oh, I love you," you're so, because I give them a 60-second version of me, which is so much more fun and so much more out there. When they see me in the street, I'm just going to get milk or cheese from the shop. And it's not that it's offense to them. It's just I'm not. Hi, I'm Shabaz. I'm just like. Oh, hi, you're right. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, cool, thank you. And they must think, he's a bit boring, isn't he? I thought he'd be
I roll out the redneck carpet. I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm Elaine. Nice to meet you.
I feel one has to be careful. The only thing one has to be careful about is that one doesn't go out in one's bedroom slippers. The one actually puts on some decent shoes. You make sure your bow tie is.
Yeah, but I just want to go around the corner to the shop.
I look.
You never know where these people are.
That's like me, Elaine.
No,
I go looking like some.
I look rougher and damn it sometimes, and I'm just. But that's the thing. Like with me, like when they fangirl, as I call it, like I'm just as excited to talk to them because I know it's such a big deal to them. Yeah, so it makes me excited, and then I always try to make their day or whatever. So I actually enjoy it. My family's actually started kind of teasing me a little bit. So anytime we go anywhere, they always say, "Oh, is that Elaine Stott from Survivor?"
Yeah.
And I get so embarrassed. They done that to me last night at the restaurant, so I ended up having to sign autographs for the waitress, and everybody's taking pictures. It's like everywhere I go, they do it on purpose.
I love it.
Like, it drives me crazy, but I do enjoy talking to the fans. I think it's super cool to interact with them and stuff. So I love it.
No, we need to bring it back to USA Circle, and our fellow Jack is playing Emily. Mm-hmm. Okay, and there's a game which was hosted by Jonathan Van Ness, who's the queer eye. Yeah. Queer eye for the straight guy. In America, he's got long hair, and somebody says he looks like a glamorous version of Jesus. So Father Tom would be only too happy there. And he gets everybody to do this makeup challenge where they have to make up a little mannequin, a little head, and
this was Emily's downfall.
No, it's not. They then take photographs of them of their heads,
so they know who done the mannequin.
Yeah.
But they allow them to make comments anonymously, don't they?
Oh, they do. There was a horrible anonymous game. I don't like the anonymous games. I must confess. But anyway,
that reminds me of Andy, Tim. That's what Andy always says.
What that Andy didn't like the anonymous games?
Yeah, and Andy's like, I've had enough of them.
No, but you see, there were so many anonymous games in your show, and I think it's one way to whip up. It's one way to whip up tension. But the other thing is, just to go back to our previous conversation, because your show wasn't live, it was so much more. It was so much more tightly edited. Now I think my show was brilliantly edited. Yeah. Your show was brilliantly edited as well. But because they knew how it ended, they didn't put in the sort of nonsense. In my show, they had situations where they couldn't explain something because they'd already made an editing decision. So the bits I always quote are that Si came to see me.
Yeah.
And as far as the show was concerned, he and I had no chats because we talked about tractors, combine harvesters, and cow poo.
Why did he come and see you?
Yeah.
Because I was brought up on a farm, he was brought up on a farm. We could discuss the best way to castrate a bullock. And you know, I was a master with these sort of things, and with goats, you know, you trim the teeth and then you go to the back end, and you know, and it's also effective. But we didn't have that conversation. Therefore, why was Si coming to visit me?
Yeah.
And in your show, because they knew the direction of the show, they could just make sure it was edited a little bit more smoothly. Now I can't remember why I'm telling you this, but
we were talking about Emily and the mannequin challenge and the anonymous games and stuff like that.
Absolutely, and you've got this you've got this wonderful thing, and Emily basically, Jack is useless.
Yeah,
is useless. And my God, it looks like something out of. It looks like that. It looks like that moment when you're 5 years old and you try your mother's lipstick.
Yeah.
I did it. Shabaz, have you done it?
Yeah.
All over the place.
I've done it on people, and that's even worse.
I think I'm the only one in the room that hasn't done that. So
really, no, Elaine.
No, I was raised by my dad and 3 brothers, and then I lived with my grandpa. So no,
I'm sure there was lipstick somewhere.
No. But I believe this game was made to catch a man catfishing as a woman.
100%, yeah.
There's no way he could have won that.
In other words, it was designed to catch Jack out.
Yeah.
The whole game was focused on Jack.
Yeah, basically, his game got screwed because of that.
I mean,
absolutely.
I found it. I don't think. What I loved about Jack was Emily was similar to my character. Whereas one quote that he said was that cute people aren't threatening. Like he said something about you're not going to find cute threatening. You'll find attractive threatening. And I loved that line because I was like, that's exactly what Alice was. So I think makeup. I mean, you should see my book. I even went down to what primer.
Okay, Shabaz, can you name your 5 favorite
Name your 5
makeup brands?
Favorite brands.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I don't have favorites, but I can name some. MAC, Urban Decay, Laura Mercier. I'm trying to think.
2 more.
Bondi. She's not really around.
I know who that is.
Huda Beauty.
Okay. Well, that's 5.
Yeah,
okay, so
that's
Emily,
not bad.
Emily made stuff up, and the women that was in the circle were like, "This is not." Yeah, it was
really.
It was a
I can't wait
disaster.
to see this.
It was.
But was it Jack was literally making stuff up?
Making stuff
Making makeup.
No.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
My question to Jack is then, why did he not write down makeup brands if he was going to be a woman?
I have no idea. This is one of the things you would do when I first went into the circle. I was thinking of going in as Mrs. May. So the first thing I did was to go shopping and see if I could buy some kitten heels. What were they? And then go on from there. And I just thought, this is hopeless. I will make such a dreadful woman.
No, he did have a makeup bag, and he did look.
No, the makeup bag was the remnant of what he'd been given to do the makeup challenge.
I'm just saying he did have one, and so he was looking on the thing.
But it wasn't his. It wasn't his.
But it didn't help him because I think he got one name from it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was just a straight disaster.
No.
Disaster. And that led to a lot of people speculating that wasn't speculating. You already had those that were thinking he was a catfish already. And then those that wasn't, like Lance and I think 1 or 2 others, like they're like, yo, this is a guy. This is straight.
I don't know if they knew. Maybe production knew that he didn't know a lot about makeup and then thought, this is the best way to get him. Because the game seems so designed around certain things. Like sometimes, like when we played our game, when I was new, we played a game called the Picture Game. There was one point where they were like, pick your childhood photo. And I had one childhood photo, and I thought, I'm so glad I had a childhood photo. If I hadn't had it, what was I going to put? They were going to be like, why is this still so?
Right.
I must say I didn't have a childhood photo.
Yes.
Because all my childhood photos were in a box, and I moved house and I left the box in somebody's house. There was a flood. Literally, my entire past was destroyed.
I feel like you had just been in a robe, a little less hair,
Just like that, but
just smaller and a clean shave. I think you'd have been the same.
I do. Maybe I do have 2 or 3 photographs from my childhood. They were the frame photos that I've still got, and in fact, I do have one of me as a little boy with a.
I'd love.
I've posted on internet. It's me with holding a toy horse.
Okay.
Clearly.
Oh, yeah.
What would be your favorite childhood picture, Shabaz?
Oh,
you have to describe it because we can't see it at the moment.
Oh, well, I posted a lot of my childhood photos because remember I come from the age where digital camera.
Oh yeah, of course.
If you're watching this, we used to take pictures like this and develop them. So I've actually got an album in my cupboard with all my childhood photos. So I just whenever it's like Father's Day or Mother's Day, and my parents I was born in '91, so back then like the cameras were like everybody was like, if you had one camera, they take pictures of everything. So I've got loads of baby pictures. So, but I think I'd pick a cute one. If I was to pick one, I'd pick something like, I've got one that I love where I'm wearing this really nice cardigan. I'm very stylish. 2 years old, cardigan, sat on the bed, just loving life, smiling.
Yeah, I got one of myself in a tank top with my little pony. I had a little 53-inch Shetland pony. And
I always wanted a pony.
I had cut my own hair, so my hair's like literally.
I used to do that. I used to cut off my hair.
Best picture ever.
And Pippa, what would be your picture?
So my favorite picture. So I've got one where I'm sat on my sister's knee, and I'm quite young. I must have been maybe like 3 or 4. And there's one picture where we're really, really smiling, and the dog's trying to get in. We had like a Labrador, I think, then, and the dog's trying to get in the picture. And then there's an exact same picture must have been taken maybe a minute later, and I look like I'm crying. She's serious, and it's a proper contrast of like going from just like a sulking little kid in the second one. So that I love them photos.
Oh my God, we have to all put up an early picture. I'll do one tonight. I think I've only got 1 or 2. We'll all cross link on Instagram. I think it would be great fun. But of course my photograph is literally in black and white.
That's amazing.
Oh.
Dang, I forgot you that old, Tim.
No, I have one of these significant birthdays in about
You're so old they didn't
less
even
than a
have
month.
color. That's crazy.
They didn't have color. And do you know one of the jobs I had at one point was touching up photographs with colored dyes.
Wow.
And these were the old military photographs. So I remember spending about 6 months touching up. Well, I ought to say touching up the Queen, but
Don't say it.
Where there are these little dots and little white dots in a photograph, and you take some dye and you colour it, and then you don't have a white dot. It's lovely. And these big military photographs.
I love stories that are like before my era. I'm honestly fascinated with it. I love
He's got 50 million of them because he was born when Jesus was around. So he's got enough.
So I've got another question. Another question because really I come to these things. I know nothing, and I just use you are my lab rats who are going to tell me what's really going on. So I thought Kardashian, because Lee does this little group. So let's have a Kardashian group. I thought Kardashian was spelled with a K, and he spells it with a C. Is there? Is this significant, or is he? Is he playing a K?
It needs to be a K. It needs to be a K.
It needs to be a K. So I don't understand because so it was a group where he's playing River, who I like. I like River, but I much prefer Lee. I think Lee is one of the great personalities to come out of this series.
Lee is so amazing. I love the emotion that he has. Like he was crying out blood. Like He's just so pure.
And he's so positive about people that he's getting rid of.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
and
like,
he
He's
makes
like, oh, I wanted them to go, but still getting upset. Like that is.
Savannah, he probably cried over Savannah. He was like, I know she's gone.
Yeah.
No,
I felt bad for him. I felt so bad for him.
I found the whole Savannah Talisha thing very, very distressing because I liked both of them.
Yeah,
actually, and I couldn't quite see what the issue was. Why would you get into a fight so early on in a show? I don't.
I was literally just going to say that the same thing. It happened so soon. I was like, let me check what episode I'm on. In episode 3, and it's kicking off. But it was like the way that they both said it in the group chat in front of everyone. That didn't happen in the whole time that I was not.
No.
It's because they're playing themselves, aren't they? It's because when you're playing yourself, I think that's what the difference between the American one was. Like, they've gone in with such strategy, but you can't, as much as strategy you have, you can't overdo what your heart feels. Like, I was in there going strategy. The minute Felix came for me, I just went, ah! I was only afterwards I realized that, oh, really? If I could do it again, I'd probably take it down 10 notches and not be so angry about it. But at that moment, I lost all of it.
I think where they're both playing themselves and they felt attacked. Their characters attacked. They felt like they had to like defend, and I think it hurt them. I think that the people didn't enjoy the drama and they were just trying to get away from it.
They went from top 1, top 2 to
the bottom.
Absolutely.
And that is because of that. That is a lot to take in because even though we see that a snippet of it, you're then in your feelings and your own thoughts for the whole 24 hours, and you're thinking, this isn't nice. Like, this isn't nice to be around. It is negative energy, and it's so blatant and so explosive.
I will say though, I did enjoy both of them.
I loved watching it as well.
Is her name? Is it Trishelle or how do you spell?
Talisha.
Talisha.
Playing Trevor.
Not good with words. Yeah.
Oh, Delisha.
Delicia's playing.
Am I getting these names all confused?
No, Terralisha and Savannah had a fight.
Terralisha and Savannah, and then Delisha.
I really liked Tim. You messed me up, Terralisha. I said it. Okay. I really enjoyed her because I really enjoy like genuine people. And that girl was as real as can be. Like, she just told it like it was. But I think that was her detriment, like in the game. I think her being brutally honest and just saying what she thought, I think it really hurt her. But outside of this, I want to hang out with her because I think she's like just cool people.
And do you know what I love? Like, I know she came for it first against Savannah in that Truth or Dare, but then when she then came to Savannah when they knew that them two were in the bottom and one of us is going to get blocked, that she came to her and really kind of I liked that bit. And then you saw Savannah go, well, you were and you saw the roles reverse a little bit, and that made me think, okay, what's happening now?
Yeah.
And
so future players, don't get into no drama. Stay out the shit.
Absolutely.
Don't get into your feelings. Just don't get in your feelings. Just
that's true.
As a pure and utter game. It's a game. Don't get into feelings.
Yeah.
What do you think should be like in the classroom, Shabaz?
Oh, well. Okay. So when I first saw her and she said, I'm a teacher, and I was like, oh, that's going to be cute. And then all of a sudden, she's effing, she's jeffing, she's fighting. I was like, wow.
She don't take no shit.
American schools are very different to British schools. Like, when I went on, like, I had that tiny little disagreement, I'd say, with Felix. And so many people were like, oh my God, he can't be a teacher. He shouldn't be a teacher.
Now, that's true. Like the American schools, it's really you have to be a special individual to be able to teach in our school system today.
I want to come
you have to be tough as nails, and I think she's got that covered. Yeah. I say she's a great teacher. Her students probably love her and fear her at the same time. So
I just think
the blue hair.
When you compare the two to like
you're right,
UK teaching and like as a UK teacher, I'm the oddball teacher. Like, I get told by staff that you're too much as a teacher, so I'd fit in America.
Dude, you should come over.
I want to.
It would be awesome. Listen, rednecks around here would love to have you as a teacher. They'd be so in awe of you. You know what I mean? Like, they would be mesmerized by the accent.
Yeah, I remember once we had a staff meeting in one of the schools I was in, and the head teacher said, So I was sitting next to one of the PE people who was sitting in a tracksuit, obviously, and the headmaster sort of glared at this PE teacher and said, all members of staff should be wearing smart business suits. And the person on the other side of me, I just didn't think of it, and he said, so what business do you think Tim is in? Maybe pimp? And I thought, oh my God, I don't know what colour my trousers were on at that time, but they were fairly, I've stuck pretty well to the same colour code, really.
You kind of do dress like a 70s pimp, Tim. I'm not gonna lie. You kind of do. You're awful flashy. Oh, I'm gonna get you a cane for Christmas. And you, yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. But, and so yeah. Now, I've got one more thing. Batter up. So we would have all known. The three of us, Pippa, Shabaz, and myself, we would have all known this was going to be something about cooking. Elaine, batter up. Would you think that was about cooking?
I'm a softball player, so batter up. It's knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Is it really? It would really be a sort of.
Yeah, batter up. It's your turn to hit. Batter up.
No.
I would have. I don't cook, so I would have thought baseball, softball right off the jump.
So we like Mitchell.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, we do like Mitchell.
I thought it was crazy that they brought Ed's brother.
I thought that was
Ed, yeah, they've got the whole family now. I mean,
our family members are probably going to want to go on next year. Then, if that's true.
Well, I believe series 3 has already been recorded, so maybe they've got more of the family in there.
Oh yeah.
No, I do think he's going to fare better than his brother Ed did.
He's faring so well at the moment.
Didn't they come in last? Weren't they the last?
Yeah, they were towards the end of the season, and like with you, I think that hurts you when you come in late.
Yeah.
Shabaz, do you have any brothers and sisters to go in next time?
They were appalled that I went in, so I doubt they'd be. I mean,
Pippa, would you go back in?
Would I go back in? Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, yeah.
You two could go in together.
Pippa, we'd smash the game.
We would smash the
Would you?
100K, they need to just give it to me.
I know it. I got an idea. It could be Pippa and Shabaz, and you guys could play and catfish like y'all are Tim.
You could pretend. Well, no, they've already done that. Father Tom was really a sort of version of. It was just one vowel different, really.
Yeah, but it would be so hilarious them to try to pull off your crazy genius.
That'd be so
Mad
hard.
Hatter. You're basically like the Mad Hatter. I'm serious. Like you're crazy. I don't know.
I would gift you, Father. I would gift you Tim. You can go in as Tim.
Try. Oh God.
But of course, if that were the case, I might sneak in as Shabaz.
If I was to ever go back in, I don't think I'd ever go in as Shabaz. I think
what would you do? What would you do if you went in and then suddenly Shabaz turned up?
I think
you would know it was a catfish.
I went in as catfish, and then Shabaz turned up.
Yes.
I would try catching them out. So I would ask them obscure questions that. But then it doesn't make a difference because it's not like the same people know. So it doesn't make a difference that I could say to them, but they wouldn't know anyway, would they?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's no point in you don't have to catch them out because you know they're a catfish.
Well, I'd become friends with them then. I think the best thing is to ally them because you know they're a catfish. I always said from the start that I never cared about catfish. I said if somebody is playing the game, play the game best with them. Catfish don't want to be questioned. You want to believe that you're playing the best catfish possible. So my game plan is if I think somebody's a catfish or I know somebody's a catfish,
don't even say nothing.
Don't even let Dot. The minute I got in, I went Dot's catfish, but I was so in there going, Nana, my Nana's died. You can be my Nana.
Yeah.
Because
she's smart. That's smart.
Questioning. So. Yeah, I'd make them my friend.
So Lee is making a major tactical error as a catfish by catfishing.
I don't
River.
know. River. Lee's playing River.
Yeah, River. Sorry, yeah.
So River is now River-Lee is now trying to catfish as a catfish.
Well, I think he's doing it from the standpoint of he wants people to think he's genuine. So he's pretending he's looking for catfish, so they don't like look at him.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's it. If you're
that's dangerous, though. That's dangerous.
Dangerous.
Because then you never want to throw people onto looking for catfish because you are one. That's why I always struggled with Saeed. Saeed really went for Natalia on our series, saying, "How you're so mean. You've treating Manrique this way," and it was like, you are as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't have a self-righteous attitude to be like, I hate the fact that you're a catfish.
You see, I think it's wrong to see catfishing as a negative feature. I think catfishing is just one way in which you present yourself, and then we deal with the reality that we've got.
Well, then it goes back to what we talked about way back at the beginning of the podcast, where I said that you really do the conversations you have, you go off your gut. Yeah. And so even if you're talking to a catfish, it's how you feel, the vibe you get from them. I think that's how you would play.
100%.
I think that's a lot. That's the exact same like avenue that a lot of the players from my series went down, didn't they? When we finally met at the end, Manrique said, "Well, she knew Saeed was a catfish." I didn't know. I was. Did
you not?
I was very iffy to him because when I first started, I don't think it showed it too much. The chats, he kept mentioning his wife. And I was like, this man, within me being here for 2 days, has mentioned his wife 3 times. I thought, is he with his wife? And then I started to think, right, so Saeed might be here with his wife. And this watermelon challenge, which it didn't make the cut, and he was really good. I was going to say, Shabaz, do you remember you weren't there at that point?
Arvin.
That was really a little salt. That was a little salt in the wound there, Shabaz. Did you get that? Did you get that?
I had about 7 months of this, so I'm
sorry. No, I genuinely was.
No, I know. I was stirring the pot like Shabaz. That's.
I'm gonna send an angry voice note now, being like, every given opportunity.
You were only there 2 or 3 days earlier, Pippa.
Then
a lot happens. Though,
yes. How long were you there before?
No, she was there for about 5 days.
6 or 7, I think it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They condensed that. This is what I mean. Like, it gets condensed a lot. So I think I did the same amount of time as Pippa as I did as Tom. I think it was 6 days each. Yeah.
So I was there. You were there. I think you went in episode 11, didn't you? As in day 11, around day 11, and then 17 was when Father Tom and Shabaz, and then they had they had a down day in between that. So I was there for about 6 or 7 days, but one of them was down day, and then obviously there was.
Because I would so much love to have seen more of both of you. Actually, I really loved. Yeah. I loved all your characters. I loved Pippa. I loved Joey. I loved Father Tom. I loved Shabaz, of course. I just thought, in a way, they're almost bringing in some of the best characters. I thought the whole of your series was so well cast.
Yeah,
it probably got boring. Bunch. I think it just got boring earlier on, so they thought, well, do you know what? Let's pick the best in now. Then
You're right.
Who was watching after episode 2? No one was watching.
No one. Yeah.
So they were like, episode 17. We need the rating.
If either of you had come into series 2, we would have become very, very firm friends, I think.
I was meant to come on series 2, wasn't I, Tom? Tim, I told you this, but I was meant to be on series 2. So
that's crazy.
Would you have made a beeline for me? Would you have identified?
No, because my 100%. Like I said to you, my whole strategy was never to be so harsh and sort of like brash. It was to learn from this character who was so soft spoken and was so nice. She was like Matilda's Miss Honey. So she was supposed to be like, I mean, I went in as Trunchbull, but I would have liked to have gone in as Miss Honey. Like, she would have been that really sweet sort of, oh my God, this is not nice. Stop picking on each other. Stop being nasty. It would have been.
Now, where does the name Alice come from? Because are you a Wonderland fan, or have you done some verbal playing?
You know what? Because she was going to be called Alison because it's Ali's son. Because my name's Shabaz Ali, so it was Ali. I just thought it was funny.
God.
But like Alice was, because I thought for short they could call her Ali, which would just be really funny that they'd be calling my surname by the You know what? In all honesty, the name, I went through a bunch of names. So there was names like Amelia, Olivia, any sort of middle class white girl's name. That's what I went through. I'm not gonna lie. It was like Amelia, Emily.
You could have gone through a school register.
Well, that's what I did. I went down the school register and then even gave us surnames as well. Like I was like, oh yeah, Amelia Brown. So she was called Alice Brown. She was called, sorry, Alice Brown, because Ali and then Brown because I'm brown. So that's not what
That's cool though.
Pippa, when you went in, did you think of being in big going in as a catfish?
Yeah, my catfish story was too much though. It was.
What was it? Come on, tell me.
Okay, so I was gonna play my sister's best friend Scott. Scott is gay in real life, so I was going in as that. But I was saying that I took my sister. So my sister's got the same birth mum, different dad. I was taking her dad's story where he was adopted at birth.
Like me.
Yeah.
Go on.
He was adopted at birth. I put a bit of a spin on it, which still does have elements of the truth, that his mother came in from Ireland, so she was Irish, and obviously, couldn't get you can't. She came here to give the baby away, basically.
Yes.
Left him in Manchester, which elements of the truth. So then he spent his life in and out of children's homes, orphanages, care homes. This is the avenue.
To the age of what? To the age of?
Till he was a teenager. Then when he was when he was a teenager, this is my character. He's called Lucas, the character. I planned it all out. When he was a teenager, he met a mental health practitioner, which is what my mum does. She advocates for mental health, and she took him under his wing and said, "Look, I'm going to help you. You've had such a rough childhood. You've been in and out of schools, in and out of everywhere. Come on, I'm going to help you in your life, basically." So then he broke it down. Lucas says, "I really want to meet my birth mother. I feel rejected. I've been rejected. This one, so much detail.
It's like it's a movie.
Yeah.
Can you please pitch this to Netflix? Because I need to see this actually.
I need to watch this movie.
So did Lucas meet his birth parents?
He does. He flies out to Belfast now and meets the birth mother. Now the birth mother is with the auntie, and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy to meet you. We've also been thinking about you too. Life, it was one of the mistakes I made, but now we can make amends." So, but when the birth mother finds out that actually Lucas is gay, rejection, she rejects it because she's so close to religion.
So he gets rejected twice.
That's a Netflix movie. I need somebody to produce this.
We need to copyright this. Make sure you copyright it. You guys own the rights to this film.
Yes,
very, very good.
The reason why Lucas was going into the circle is to help children that have potentially been through, in and out of different care homes, in and out of the system. And that's why he wanted to win the $100,000. Now I was like, okay, but when I spoke to the second psychiatrist, you go through shrink checks before you go on. He was like, "This is crazy." He said, "You're gonna have."
Really? Why? I identify with half of that. Well, more than half of that story.
I think the trouble would be because people would go, if it's your story, then it makes sense, doesn't it? I pitched it on race, so mine was linked a lot to race, but they were just like, you don't need to be so obvious with it. You're going in, you as a brown person are going in as a white girl. It's already there. You don't have to say it. So they were like, just stay away from it, because people instantly label you as, he's trying to fight a race battle, which is not what I was trying to do. I was literally playing her because she was someone who I looked up to and I saw online. So I think that's probably why people, they probably thought.
Yeah. And I think it's took me a minute or two to explain the story, and there's more detail to it, like the areas and locations and where he lived.
I would have forgot.
For me to condense that and try and pitch it to the other players, it's like
But you wouldn't need to pitch all of that.
True.
You
could have saved
you have that back history. Yeah, that's enough, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, you could have saved the really meat and taters of the operation to your closest allies and stuff, but it would have been a lot, dude, to keep up with that. I need to meet Lucas, though. I need to meet Lucas. I need to be his friend.
Has he got a Z at the end of his name?
It didn't, but we can do it.
I think we should give him a Polish twist. Because I think that would be the ultimate, really. That would be great fun. But I was always worried in my story of revealing too much, because every time I said something, it sort of sounded more improbable. Really? And in fact, that was the.
Yeah, I wouldn't have catfished. I would have just been myself, but people probably wouldn't believe me because I got such outlandish stories that are true. Yeah. But they wouldn't have believed me. You know what I mean? So they would have thought I was a catfish when I was actually playing myself. I would probably have been screwed regardless.
In real life, people are not that consistent, and you look for these sort of odd, jarring things to actually confirm the truth. It's when somebody tells a perfect story that you start to suspect that something's dodgy. I mean, you know, I'm not proposing myself as a prosecutor at this moment, but
judge and jury.
You want the inconsistencies.
I think the circle's now going to that place where I think they're going to really struggle, because in the next couple of years, everybody's going to suspect everything. You could say something like, I had cereal for breakfast. They'd be like, you didn't have cereal for breakfast. People don't eat cereal for breakfast. Every single point will be, she's lying. Catfish, 100% a liar, because
so the circle can become so the circle manipulation can become much kinder.
Well,
you know,
we had talked about this before on our podcast. Like with Survivor, the progression of the show, it would, you know, they've been on for 20 years. Survivor has. So the progression from the beginning till now, it's totally different. And with the circle, there's only been 3 seasons. You know what I mean? Like here in the US or in the UK, there's only been 3 seasons. In the US, only 2. And it has jumped so far from like what it was meant to be to this huge game of manipulation, lying, this, that, and the other. But like, I don't know where the roof is. Like, where can they go? You know,
even the first American series was much more strategic. You know, even Shubham, a wonderful, lovable character, was being quite strategic in the way he played. And I think if you put him into series 1 of the UK system, of the UK season, it would have been quite jarring.
I think it's going to be quite difficult. I think winners, I don't think anyone's ever going to be happy with any winner in the next couple of years, because I think the next series, the winner will be someone like an Alice or someone like a Father Tom. Because
so since you went there, Shabaz, let's go ahead and do it. Who do you predict is going to win this season?
This season coming
of the American season.
Lee, he hasn't gone as he yet, because I'm not going to
no.
Lee, 100% Lee.
Okay.
I would like Lee to win.
Yeah.
Lee or Courtney.
I was about to say, I love Courtney.
Courtney's great.
It's the one-liners for me. I'm laughing my head off. You best believe, like, share. I'm like, I love this.
I would like Mitchell to win, but he won't. I'm afraid Mitchell is going to fall within the next episode or 2. I think, unfortunately, I think he makes wonderful television. Look, if I were to ask you to go back into the circle, Pippa and Shabaz, and in fact Elaine, or all 3 of you can go back into the circle. You can go into the circle on condition that you do not win. Would you do it?
100%.
I would.
Yeah. If I knew that you're not going to win, then I would.
In fact, you're not allowed to win. You must do anything you can not to win.
Right. Fine.
Would you risk all to lose, Pippa?
I will go tomorrow. Yeah. Go on, Pippa. Sorry, yes.
Yeah. Do you know what I think I would? Because looking back, the experience was so it was an amazing experience. It was something that I would never, and that's why I did it in the first place. I wanted to really challenge myself mentally, which is what it does. But then again, I have already done it, so it's like, you know, I do want to tarnish the memory that I already have of it.
Yeah. Well, see, I would totally go in and play any game. Really, I would go in. And I'm okay with not winning, because I'm okay with coming in dead last. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm with Pippa. The experience, the things, the friendships you get out of it, the people you get to meet, and the opportunities and stuff you get from it. All of that stuff is so amazing. Like, I would be down to do any show, really, just for those reasons alone. Yeah. You wouldn't even have to throw money in it.
I wish they didn't. Like, I mean, honestly, when I applied for it, I genuinely did not. They kept pushing the 100K narrative to me. Mm-hmm. So it's really funny, because even my VT is chopped and edited together to make me say the 100K is mine, because I just wouldn't say it, because I was like, I'm not here for the money. I'm genuinely, I love the circle. I just want to play the game, cause as much havoc and mayhem and fun as possible, make some great friends, and then if I get the winning prize, shouldn't be it should be a bonus to get it. I wanted to be at that end table. That's my only goal. My only goal was go in and be at that end table, and to see people I'd been with since the end going, oh my god, you know what I mean? Yeah. The money was the last thing on my mind.
That was my ambition as well. they asked me what I would do with the money. It was just an improbable question. Yeah, I couldn't answer that.
So there we go. I think we have our next Netflix push for a show is one that where there's not really a prize at the end other than just
Well, no, you lose the prize.
Being on the damn show is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
How much money could you lose?
How much money could you lose, Tim?
Oh, that's
I go down to the millions. It'd be like every time you do something, you lose 10 grand. Right.
Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? We could have. How much would you risk to lose?
No, wait, I got you guys. You guys are probably Tim. You might remember. You ever seen a movie called Brewster's Millions? It's an American movie. Okay, it's got Richard Pryor in it, who's long past now.
But it's a remake as well.
The gist of the movie is that he's given so many $1 million to spend within a month, I think. And if he spends that in a month, then he gets like quadruple the amount. So let's do something like that. I don't know if there's any producers out there that's listening in the audience to this podcast. Y'all holler at us because we just pitched a fantastic idea. So
there we are.
I think it'd be
great. We must go, I'm afraid. So Shabaz, where would we find you?
I'm Shabaz Says on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, pretty much everywhere. TikTok mainly though. That's my fun platform.
What's the advantage of TikTok? I've not really done TikTok.
The thing for me, Instagram is I'm not an Instagram person. Like I don't take, Pippa's Instagram is beautiful. Like she takes pictures. I posted a lot of my videos from the circle, and then the last time I posted was last week because I'm always in my pajamas.
You love TikTok.
This is the first time I've got up and washed my face in 2 days because I knew I was coming on screen.
Right.
TikTok, it's quick. It's 60 seconds. Say what you need to say. Do what you need to do. Get a laugh. Move on.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Oh, okay. You may have sold it to me. We will have a discussion, I think.
Him on TikTok.
Pippa, how do we find you?
You can find me Instagram mainly. Thanks, Shabaz. Pippa Kisses, the word kisses. Everyone always asks, is that my surname? It's not.
It's just so it's a verb.
Yeah.
I think it's lovely. No, we're not going to go there. No, somebody told me a horrible acronym the other day, and I realised it would dampen the mood. But it's I have to say it now. It's KYS, which is just horrible. I didn't know what it was, but someone explained it to me. No, I'm afraid it's a death threat. It's quite nasty.
I know that one.
But I was so shocked that there are acronyms out there. For real narcissists. This is Shabaz. This is why you're. So if anybody hasn't seen, Shabaz has been editing these amazing videos. Pippa, you've been in one, and so the hashtag. What is it? Hashtag think before you post.
Yeah.
It is so important and such a vital message. And really, every show ought to be sort of getting behind these sort of things,
right?
Because we need to constantly be pushing out this message. So anyway, Elaine, how do we find you?
You can find me mainly on Instagram. I'm with Pippa. I'm an Instagram person. I'm not so much. I got TikTok, but I really don't know what kind of videos to make, so I just watch other people's. But you can find me at Elaine Stott 32 on Instagram or Twitter. I'm not big on tweeting, but I am on there. Holler at me. I holler at you. I love talking to the fans.
And I'm Professor _Tim _Wilson on Instagram. I'm Prof _Tim _Wilson on Twitter. Is that right? Twitter.
He's got a thing for underscores.
And then and then I'm a thing called Zontal Films Limited. All one word, which is on YouTube, and that's named after my partner, who's got this wonderful name, which in ancient Syriac means high mountain.
Wow.
So Zontal is high mountain. So this is what you would have said. You would have said in Aramaic.
Look my name up.
I'm going to. I'm sure it's Irish. There's Irish or Scottish.
Sure it means something.
It's one of these.
Scottish. I think Scottish.
Yeah, it's Elaine. I'm sure it's Scottish. Actually, it's one of those names you would have if you were in Outlander. Anyway, so look.
Yeah, sounds right.
Elaine, you have to finish us off.
I just want to say thank you to both of you guys for coming on and talking with us all things circle. We really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me and Tim to have you guys here. I know we're just a little small podcast, but we really enjoy every time we have one of you guys come on. And I love both of you guys on
I've
this
loved
show.
it.
Oh,
Thank you for
I
having
think
us
you're
as
great.
well.
Yeah, I just want to
I've
say
loved
thank
it.
you again. And
Oh.
I just wish you guys the best in the future. And if you're ever this way, this side of the pond, as Tim would call it, y'all look up this old redneck. Y'all come hang out in Kentucky. I'd love to show y'all
I'm
around.
down for this.
Yes,
I
let's
love
do
it.
this.
I'm coming.
Absolutely. And we've got another circle next Sunday, and I think we've got Hashu, Uncle Saeed, and I think we're going to have Andy. We may have somebody else from. I don't know. Let's just see what
Lovely.
happens.
We'll just surprise you. That's all.
Yeah.
I appreciate it though. Thanks for coming on with us.
Thanks for
Bye
having
bye.
us.
Bye bye.